Welcome back if you're returning. This is what I'm calling the French Country Dispatch edition. A couple of photos of the house. This is the house when we first got there. It had been empty since May. People had been renting the house before that point. As you can see, it's extremely overgrown. This was the house after 3 hard, grueling days on my husband's part, just chopping everything down. We had to remove all of the greenery because it was starting to do damage to the bricks and the roof tiles. So a quick before and after. We're now home in Canada, and we've got plans for the future. So while we were visiting, my son came over with his girlfriend, and we visited a place called Auberterre-sur-Drône, and it is one of the 10 most beautiful villages in France. Honestly, it was stunning. We visited this little Antique Brocantes, which was so full of amazing finds. Honestly, it's unbelievable that the antiques and the beautiful items that are sitting in these little shops, and the prices are really not that bad. So at some point we will start shopping properly for the house, but we have to go through the house, see what's there, see what we can keep. And again, I will make a video to go into more detail about the details of actually getting into the house. It took a little while. There's a lot of backstory, obviously, but this video I just wanted to concentrate on the visit to the Brocantes, a couple of items that we picked up while we were there, and also going through the house with the actual treasures that we found there. The house had been really abandoned, I would say. The main house, the owner died in 2015. The gîtes had been rented out until May. That's a whole other story, but this video is more about, again, going through the main house, the things that we found. There's probably enough content for a good 2 or 3 videos, so I'm going to split it up over the next couple of weeks because I have lots of other things going on with fall and Halloween. So stay tuned and see what's coming up. So, as I'd said, the main house had been abandoned pretty well. It was so strange. It was full of stuff. It was full of the most amazing treasures. I'd actually injured my leg touring one of the Brocantes. So for 2 days I just sat at the table, and my hubby would just pass me boxes of stuff, and I would just sit and go through them. And the things that had been left were just, it was surprising. It was also quite sad, thinking that there was a family here at one point, and then they left it. Nobody cared any longer, and it was sad. But I mean, absolutely, we are so grateful for everything that's been left. So these are the things that were just in the main house. So obviously there's cupboards, there's boxes, there's just things left on tables and in cabinets. And this is just what we're going through. So that little box obviously was for the placemats and names. This book was so beautiful. It was so heavy. I love the colours on it, and it was just old advertisements. It was like an old magazine. I guess you would call it a sampler book. It was ads, and it was items from the turn of the century that you could purchase and order. So it was like a sampler, or I guess a catalogue, the earliest kind of catalogue. Now, the people who'd owned this house that we bought it from, they were British, and the father had been the owner, and when he'd passed away it had been passed on to the children, and obviously they weren't interested, so they just kind of left everything, took a couple of things here and there, but then just left everything for us. And again, I'm extremely grateful for that, because this is absolutely the kind of things that I loved, and the 3 days that I spent sitting on this chair going through things was just great. So as you can see, this magazine is just brilliant. I'm going to be using it for I think for artwork and for displays, it's a lovely big coffee table book, I would say. So it's going to go on the coffee table along with some of the other treasures that we discovered. So the actual kitchen in the main house has been torn out. There's not much in there. I think I showed you that in the last video. And then there's a pantry, and in this pantry were different baskets and boxes of stuff. And as we went through each thing individually, we found quite a lot of things that we could actually use again in the house. We would repurpose. There are a few things that we will donate and a few things that we've thrown away. But there were also items of value. There's a collection of silver spoons and cutlery, and there was the first item I pulled out were the little sugar claws, and those are stamped with a silver stamp. So what I did as I was going was I separated obviously the things that were actually worth something and put them to one side, and then I decided the things that I was going to keep and reuse, and then there was items that we were donating and items that we would be throwing away. But it was really quite astounding that these things have just been left. I don't know whether they didn't realize they were there, or they just thought that everything was had no value. So as I said, as we're going through things, we did find things that were actually quite valuable. And again, I am so grateful for the stuff that we found. There were dishes. There were a few dishes, Royal Albert and the like. Not a full set, but honestly at this point anything that we don't have to buy is going to save us money. So we're keeping all of these. Again, this is exactly the stuff that I love. I'll come up to the other items that had been left, but there's actual blue willow. There are items, as you can see here, made in Italy, made in Portugal. There's some beautiful glass items. There are some great wooden chopping boards, big thick things, and just really unexpected items that are going to be a great bonus, that are a great bonus for us, and again items that we won't have to buy down the line. So it's great when you're absolutely starting out, especially in another country. It's not like when you move normally, you put your stuff in a truck and you take it to the next house. This is not feasible. But the things, like I said, the things that we've found will come in very useful. So this white set is just white stoneware, and it is very, very nice. It is a teapot with all the little accessories that go with it. There we also found 8 plates, 8 saucers, 8 cups. There's quite a few different pieces that were in another cabinet that I don't think I'd got to in this video. There were cooking dishes. These are so substantial. They are beautiful. There were really pretty little dessert glasses, and that I would love for my fall displays. But again, it's all little things that we won't have to buy down the line. So a lot of the things that have been left, obviously, were just, I can imagine the generation just not being bothered with it. These little serving plates are beautiful. They are Limoges and they are French. Beautifully decorated. I think I've got a piece actually at home here downstairs that matches this almost identically. So I can imagine using these in parties and gatherings when we have people over. So a lot of this stuff I will treasure and I will use. And of course there's lots of this is actual cut glass and crystal. Some of them are just regular glass, you know, for cake stands and whatever, but there are a few items that, you know, you flick them and they are proper crystal. There's a lovely punch bowl. I think it's a punch bowl. This actually is the piece this is a crystal piece. There's with swan neck handles, and I think it's missing its ladle, but I'm sure in the Brocantes I can pick something up. And again, the things that I found, I'm not going to keep all of them, but a few of them I will keep, and I can add to them, because you see these things every day as you're walking around these Brocantes in France. They are literally pennies. People just don't care about this stuff anymore, especially in France. They want everything new and sleek and modern, which is absolutely perfect and works great for me, because if, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and I really do treasure a lot of these little items. This serving platter, there's two of them. I just think they are gorgeous, and they would have worked perfectly in my house here. It's all made in England, so obviously I'm assuming it's come from the previous generation, been handed down. I mean, it may have been bought here, but the way it's been stored, I think it was somebody's treasures that they've put away, and they pull out at probably Christmas and Thanksgiving, and it's just gorgeous pieces. So these two in particular I was really pleased with because of the colouring, and they are, again, the transferware that just right up my alley. As I said, we had visited a Brocante sort of garage sale and picked up a couple of items. This is actually where I'd injured myself, so we had to cut it short. We've got this clock for €35. We were guaranteed that it was working. It actually doesn't, so I will get that fixed. It'll tick for a little while and then it stops. So that's actually, we put up that in the house, in the little bedroom that we made up for ourselves. We also picked up this little cabinet with this marble top, and this matches a piece that's already existing in the house. So this was €10, and I just couldn't pass this up. It is in beautiful condition. It is a lovely piece, and we've since seen other pieces that match this. There was a little table, little sideboard at one of the Brocantes that we visited, a place called Emmaus, and so on future visits we will be picking up more stuff, and when we start to redecorate, it will be picked with pieces like this, and for the price, honestly, €10, you just can't go wrong. So this is the cabinet that's in the kitchen, and going through the drawers I found linens, I found tablecloths, I found aprons and a box of silverware, and some of this is stamped with the silver mark. So I've just put it away for now. I will come back to this at a future point, polish it all up, and obviously reuse this. This has just been an amazing find. As I said, we went through the drawers in this cabinet and just the things that have been left. There are copper pots, there's all sorts. These chairs are an amazing find. There are 10 of them and they are perfect. They all are really well put together. They're all sturdy. So I'm definitely going to be keeping these and using them. In the hallway, I mean, this is just passing through the hallway, but the things that we found, the furniture that's been left, the couches, they are all in such beautiful condition. Obviously this house has been empty for at least 5 years, so everything needs to be washed and cleaned properly. This is a gorgeous piece. It is the blue willow. There's no damage to this whatsoever, no cracks, no marks on it. It is beautiful. I'm so happy with this. You can see the crazing on it is lovely. There are another couple of pieces that kind of go with this, but I was so pleased to find this. And again, just sitting there on the table. You can see beside it there's some more other little items. There's a lot of little cups and containers. Some of them are marked, some of them aren't. But again, absolutely the stuff that I love, and when we redo the kitchen they will take pride of place as reminders of sort of what came before. We found this piece. It was on it was underneath the table actually. It does have quite a substantial crack in it. I'm not sure what it is. I think it may have been an old wash basin with the jug in it. I'm not sure. I will reuse this, absolutely. I'm going to see if I can repair the crack in it. I think it would make a really pretty sink if you retrofit it, but we're going to have to wait and see. Again, these little plates were on the table. I'm sorry, it's not quite focusing. There we go. These are a match to the set, another set that I found. There's only a couple of pieces each, but again, it doesn't have to match. I just love all this blue and white. And again, it'll go with the collections that I have that I'll bring from home eventually. This is another cabinet in the living room, which is just full of great old books. There's a lot of really nice old collectible pieces, and the drawers were just full of little items. And again, you know that it's so sad. There's like family pictures, and there are little things that somebody's treasured along the way. There is a very big book collection at the top of the stairs, and I think probably we'll end up keeping most of them because the subject matters are varied, numerous, and quite interesting. So we'd gone through a lot of these little books. Everything's really quite readable. And again, going through the drawers, we found some really lovely little treasures, some family photos and, empty picture frames. And it really gets your mind thinking, who these people are. We'll never find out now, but why they've been left, and under what circumstances everything just happened to be left, and why nobody wanted anything. Again, I don't mind. It's great for me. I love going through all these things, but there's old videos, there's bits here and there. It was so cool to go through everything. Now, of course, everybody's junk drawer has junk in it, but these drawers had some little treasures in as well. This little leather bound, I thought it was a book. It has a little lock on it, and it is actually, it has disintegrated on the end of it. As you can see, it's come apart, but it's this lovely little silhouette, and it's got a velvet lining. Why this person, as a woman, has a mushroom on her head, I'll never know, but how lovely. So I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to try and repair it and keep that. That will definitely be going on display. There was also a couple of little items, little trinket boxes and brushes, and sweet little things that somebody's just left behind. It's quite sad. There was lots of notes and cards, and there were also a really cute little box of playing cards, quite old actually, but really quite lovely. Little boxes that held treasures at some point. There were lots of actual birthday cards, quite old as well. So I think this was probably a pen box. I'm not sure, I can't remember now, but there you go, just a little box. Those are really quite pretty on their own. Again, like I said, there were lots of little things that everybody has in their drawers, just little bits of ribbon and all sorts. Again, there were some really cute little pieces around. This is a really old lamp. It looks like an old brass candlestick, quite heavy. Games on the floor. There were these lovely big old baskets. There's two of these wooden, they look as if they would have been used for, I don't think they were blanket boxes because they don't have a lid on them. The one I think was a bread box. This little doll's house, I'm going to have so much fun doing this up. This is just so lovely. Again, just left out in the living room. Some little girls played with that for hours, and it's just been left. Nobody loves it anymore. Again, this wooden unit, there's 2 or 3 of these. I'm not sure what they were used for, but I will be finishing them up and using them around the house. Lots of little items left. They were big jar collectors. I think there was probably about 10 jars altogether left here and there. The old fireplace is, I'm keeping the tiles, I love the tiles. We're going to have the chimney swept and make sure that that's in full working order before the winter time if we're back. Again, we're not sure when we're going to be back yet. There's a lot to do our end. But the beams on the ceiling, the massive big table with lovely chairs, you know, little bits here and there, just really cute little items that, again, I don't have to buy and I can absolutely reuse around the house. Lovely plates. This is another Limoges, Marseille. So there are some French items here. This is the piece that I told you about. I picked up from the Brocante for $10. Was a little version of this. So I would like to reuse them both in the living room, maybe in one of the bedrooms, actually side tables. But again, a lot of these pieces we saw in Brocante, these wooden pieces with the lovely marble tops on them. So again, it's lovely to find them quite cheap out and about. Lots of tablecloths, lots of linens. These dining room chairs are quite nice. They've got nice velvet seats, and the table is in perfect condition, and they've got the clawfoot with the little brass wheels on them. Again, a lovely find. Well, I'm gonna end this video because I could carry on doing this. I've got lots more to show you. There are things that upstairs in the bedrooms, there's the little area where we were staying, and the few things that we did to make things comfortable for ourselves. So I will follow up hopefully in a couple of days with another video. Hopefully you'll want to see the rest of the house. Again, there are some details that I will be sharing with you about the house, because it did take us a little while to get in, and what our future plans are. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next week, hopefully for another little video. So see you soon. Bye.